My beloved child, I need you to hear this carefully, because what I am about to tell you will sound impossible. And that is precisely why I need you to hear it from me directly. A billionaire is watching you. Right now. In secret. Not stalking you. Not following you with malicious intent. But watching you with the quiet, intense focus of someone who has found something rare and extraordinary, and is trying to determine whether it is as significant as they think it is. They have been watching you for a while, guided toward you by a prompting in their spirit that they cannot fully explain. They see something in you. Something in your character, your gifts, your resilience, your faith, your way of handling difficulty, that has captured their attention in a way that few things ever have. And they are watching because they are building towards something. A question, an offer, a partnership proposal that will change the course of your life in ways that are almost beyond description. They want to ask you to join them. That is the secret they are carrying as they watch you. They have a vision, something significant, something that would impact many people, something that requires the specific gifts and qualities they see in you. And they believe, based on what they have observed, guided by the kind of spiritual intuition that comes from a life connected to my purposes, that you are the right person to stand beside them in it. They have not approached you yet because they are still watching, still confirming, still building the courage to extend an invitation they have never extended to anyone before. But today, something shifts. Today I am moving in their heart to prepare them to ask. And I am moving in yours to prepare you to say yes when the moment comes. Chapter 1. The Watching. What the billionaire sees when they look at you. My beloved child, I want to tell you exactly what the billionaire who is secretly watching you sees. Because understanding what is being observed will shift the way you see yourself. The picture they have formed of you is not filtered through your own self-doubt or the limitations of your current circumstances. They are seeing what I see. They are seeing you through spiritual eyes, guided by my hand, their perception adjusted by the Holy Spirit to perceive not just what is visible, but what is real. They see someone who has persisted through extraordinary difficulty without losing their essential character. This is remarkably rare. Most people who go through the kinds of pressures you have navigated either break under the pressure or become hardened by it, losing the softness of compassion, the warmth of generosity, the openness of faith. You have done neither. You are still recognizably yourself, still kind, still believing, still caring about others, even when caring costs you something. That quality, the ability to maintain your core character through fire, is one of the most valuable things a person can carry. And the billionaire watching you sees it clearly. They see someone whose gifts are significantly underutilized. There is a quality of potential in you that has not found its full expression yet, constrained by circumstances, by resources, by the limited stage that your current situation provides. But the gifts themselves are unmistakable to a discerning eye. Intelligence, creativity, the ability to inspire and motivate, a natural talent for seeing what is needed and knowing how to provide it. Skills specific to your field that are genuinely exceptional. This person has seen the work of many people, has evaluated many candidates for the role they have in mind, and they keep coming back to you, because your gifts, freed from the constraints of your current situation, are exactly what is needed. They see someone who can be trusted. In the world of significant wealth and significant endeavor, trust is the most precious commodity. The billionaire who is watching you has learned through painful experience that the rarest people are those who can handle responsibility, authority, and resources with integrity. They have been betrayed before by people who seemed trustworthy, but were not. They are watching you with the care of someone who is not willing to be deceived again. And what they see is someone whose track record of integrity, in small things, in unobserved things, in moments when compromise would have been easy and undetected, is genuinely rare. They trust you. And the invitation they are building toward is an extraordinary expression of that trust. Write in the comments right now, I see what God sees in me. I am the person this invitation is meant for. I am ready. Declare that with the conviction of someone who has just had the most accurate mirror ever held up before them. Not a flattering mirror, but a true one. That is who you are. Receive it. Chapter 2. The Secret. What they are building toward. My beloved child, let me tell you more about the question the billionaire is preparing to ask you. because the nature of the invitation they are carrying is both more significant and more personal than a simple business offer. What they want to ask you is to become a partner, not just a collaborator or an employee, in something they have been building and dreaming about for a long time. They want your full presence, your full engagement, your actual partnership in a work that is aligned with the purposes of God in a way that they understand, perhaps partially, but you understand deeply. The work they are building is designed to create impact at a scale that requires both their resources and your gifts. Without their resources, your gifts cannot reach the scale of impact they were designed for. Without your gifts, their resources cannot find the specific expression of purpose they were intended for. Together, your gifts and their resources, aligned by my hand and guided by my spirit, you create something that neither of you could create alone. Something that will touch many lives, open doors for many people, create provision for many families, and leave a legacy that extends beyond either of your individual lifetimes. The question they are building toward asking is, will you help me build this? It is a question of invitation, of trust, of the profound vulnerability that comes when someone with resources asks someone with gifts to step into a common vision. They are not asking you because you need them. They are asking you because they need you. The resources are theirs. The gifts are yours. And the vision belongs to God, who arranged this partnership long before either of you understood what was being assembled. This is the kind of partnership that changes everything. Not just financially, though the financial dimensions of what this partnership creates for your life are extraordinary, but in terms of purpose, in terms of actually doing the thing you were made to do, at the scale you were made to do it, with the resources it requires to be fully realized. This is everything. This is the door that has been at the end of the corridor all along. The billionaire watching you secretly is the one holding the key, and they are about to knock. Today, in the first pinned comment below this message, something has been prepared specifically for this season of your life, the heavenly wealth transfer, a 7-day miracle to receive God's abundance. This is a divine spiritual guide that will align your heart, your faith, and your spiritual posture with the extraordinary provision that this partnership is about to bring into your life. It was set apart for you, not for everyone, but for the one who receives this message with an open heart and a spirit of genuine faith. It is a gift, not something being sold to you, not a commercial product. It is a revelation prepared for your season of divine partnership and abundance. Go to the first pinned comment right now and receive it. It is waiting for you. Chapter 3. The qualities that make you the right person for the invitation. My beloved child, I want to speak to you about the specific qualities that make you the right person for this extraordinary invitation. I have already touched on them: persistence, character, trust, underutilized gifts. But I want to go deeper, because understanding why you are chosen for this will help you hold the invitation with the right combination of gratitude and confidence when it comes. The first quality is your relationship with suffering. You have not been protected from difficulty. You have been formed by it. And the specific kind of formation that suffering produces in a person who keeps faith through it is precisely the formation that the work this billionaire is building requires. The compassion to understand people who struggle, the resilience to keep moving when the obstacles seem overwhelming, the wisdom that comes from having been in hard places and learned something real from them, the credibility that comes from having lived the difficulty rather than just theorized about it. These are qualities that no amount of education, training, or money can produce. They come only through the forge. You have been through the forge, and you came out refined. The second quality is your specific gift set. I placed specific gifts in you before you were born. Gifts tailored to the exact work this billionaire is building toward. This is not coincidence. The alignment is too precise to be accidental. Every gift you carry, every skill you have developed, every area of expertise or natural talent you possess, it fits perfectly into the shape of what this partnership needs from you. When the invitation comes and they describe the work and what they need from a partner, you will feel a recognition, a deep sense of "this was made for me," because it was. I made it for you. I made you for it. The alignment is deliberate. The third quality is your faith. The work that is being built has a dimension of divine purpose that requires someone who operates from faith rather than from mere competence. The billionaire watching you has competence, extraordinary competence in fact. What they lack, and what they see in you, is the specifically spiritual dimension of perceiving what God is doing and aligning with it. Your faith is not a liability in this partnership. It is your most distinctive contribution. It is what brings the divine perspective, the heavenly wisdom, the spiritual discernment that money cannot buy, and that makes the difference between a highly competent human endeavor and a divinely guided one. Comment below. I am the right person for this invitation. My suffering, my gifts, my faith, they were all preparation for this moment. I am ready. Let that declaration be the final preparation of your heart before the invitation comes. Chapter 4. How to position yourself for the divine encounter. My beloved child, there are practical and spiritual steps you can take right now that will accelerate the coming of the invitation and position you to receive it well. These steps are not formulas for manipulating the divine timing. They are acts of alignment that cooperate with what I am already doing. The first step is to sharpen your presentation of your gifts and vision. When the invitation comes, and it will come, you need to be able to articulate clearly and compellingly what you bring to the partnership. Practice it now. Write a clear, concise description of your gifts, your experience, your vision, and your sense of calling. Not a resume. Something more personal and more visionary than a resume. A statement of who you are and what you are here to do. Speak it aloud until it comes naturally. The invitation will require a response that is immediate, clear, and confident. Prepare now. The second step is to live as if the partnership is already established. Not in a presumptuous, self-deceiving way, but in the genuine faith posture of someone who believes the arrangement is real and is behaving accordingly. Show up to your current responsibilities with the full investment of someone who is building towards something bigger. Let the people around you see the quality and character of a person who is ready for a great partnership. The billionaire watching you secretly is partly watching how you show up in your current situation. Live up to what you know they are observing. The third step is to pray specifically for the encounter. Ask me to arrange it. Ask me to prepare the heart of the person watching you to move from watching to asking. Ask me to create the specific circumstance that brings you together in the moment I have appointed. Ask me to give you clarity, boldness, and the exact words when the moment comes. This prayer is not unnecessary. It is one of the mechanisms I use to bring divine appointments to their appointed moment. Your prayer participates in the orchestration. The fourth step is to eliminate any spiritual barriers that could prevent the encounter from going well. Unforgiveness, fear of success, deep-seated beliefs about your unworthiness of wealth or influence, the imposter syndrome that makes you discount your own gifts. Any of these can create invisible friction in a divine encounter. Ask me to search your heart and reveal anything that needs to be released, healed, or transformed. Then do the work of release and healing, with my help. The encounter deserves a spirit that is as clean, open, and prepared as possible. Today, in the first pinned comment, the heavenly wealth transfer. A 7-day miracle to receive God's abundance contains specific prayer protocols for divine encounters. How to pray for them, how to prepare for them, how to receive from them with maximum openness and wisdom. Go to the first pinned comment right now and access this gift. It was set apart for you for this exact season. Receive it before the encounter comes so that you are fully equipped when it does. Chapter 5. The spiritual significance of being secretly watched. My beloved child, I want to speak to you about the spiritual significance of being watched. Because there is something profoundly meaningful in the fact that a person of great wealth and influence has turned their full, careful, sustained attention toward you without your knowing it. In the economy of my kingdom, this kind of sustained observation before an invitation carries great weight. Throughout history, the most significant divine appointments in my story with humanity often began with a period of observation. Before David was anointed king, Samuel observed each of Jesse's sons with careful attention, guided by my spirit. Before Ruth received the extraordinary kindness of Boaz, he observed her quietly, noted her character, her faithfulness, her integrity, before he moved to extend his protection and provision to her. The careful, spirit-guided observation that precedes an extraordinary invitation is not unusual in my economy. It is part of the pattern. What the secret watching means for you is this. You have been evaluated and found to be the right person. Not possibly the right person. Not almost the right person. The right person. The extended period of watching was the extended period of confirmation, and the confirmation has reached its conclusion. The billionaire who has been watching you has enough information. They have seen enough. The watching is almost complete, and the invitation is almost ready. The fact that you are receiving this message at this exact moment is part of the divine orchestration that is bringing the watching to its end and the invitation to its beginning. Be at peace about what you do not know. You do not need to know the details of what has been observed or how you have been found. The evaluation is complete. The outcome is favorable. All you need to do is be ready, spiritually, practically, relationally, emotionally ready, for the moment when the watching becomes an approach, and the approach becomes an invitation, and the invitation becomes the beginning of the most significant chapter of your life. Comment below. I received the truth that I am being watched and found worthy. The invitation is coming, and I am ready to receive it. Let that quiet, peaceful confidence be the atmosphere of your spirit as you move through the rest of this day, and the days that follow. Chapter 6. The riches that the partnership will produce. My beloved child, let me be specific about what the partnership this billionaire is offering will produce in your life. Not because I want you focused on material gain, but because I want your faith to be strong and your vision to be clear, and specific pictures of specific blessings sustain both. The financial dimension of this partnership transforms your relationship with money permanently. You move from the experience of financial scarcity, of managing lack, of calculating carefully whether there will be enough, of deferring significant life decisions because of insufficient resources, to the experience of financial abundance. Not just comfort, abundance. The kind that gives you margin to give generously, invest wisely, create freely, and serve effectively without the constant limitation of insufficient resources. The financial dimension of this partnership is not a temporary relief. It is a permanent change. The purpose dimension is perhaps even more significant. The partnership aligns your gifts, your passion, and your sense of calling with a work that is large enough, funded enough, and strategically positioned enough to allow you to operate at your full capacity. Not at a fraction of your potential, constrained by the limits of what you can do alone with limited resources, but at the full, expanded impact level of everything you carry. The frustration of unrealized potential ends when this partnership begins. The legacy dimension is what I want you to think about most. The work that this partnership creates will outlast you. It will continue to produce, to impact, to serve, to bless, long after you are gone. The legacy you build through this partnership will be something that your children, your grandchildren, and generations you will never meet will point to and say, that person changed things. That person walked in their calling, found the right partner, built the right thing, and left something in the world that mattered. That is what is on the other side of this secret watching. Comment below. I can see the financial, purpose-filled, and legacy dimensions of this divine partnership. I receive them all, in the name of Jesus. Declare the full scope of the blessing, not just the immediate or surface dimensions. Chapter 7. The test of humility that precedes the invitation. My beloved child, before the invitation comes, there is one more test, and I want to warn you about it so that you pass it rather than being caught off guard by it. It is the test of humility, not the test of worthiness. You have passed that. Not the test of character. You have passed that too. The test of humility is specifically about how you hold this revelation, and it is ongoing. The revelation that a billionaire is secretly watching you and building toward an extraordinary invitation could, in the wrong spirit, become a source of pride. It could create a sense of superiority over others who are not receiving this kind of divine favor. It could produce a spiritual elevation that makes genuine humility difficult. The enemy will try to use this revelation to inflate your ego rather than expand your faith. He knows that pride goes before a fall, and if he can get you proud about the blessing, he has a weapon to eventually bring it down. The test of humility is this. Can you hold the extraordinary favor of heaven over your life, the secret watching, the coming invitation, the greater partnership, without it changing the quality of your love, your service, your care for ordinary people around you? Can you remain genuinely interested in others, genuinely servant-hearted, genuinely humble in the ordinary moments of your daily life, even while you carry this extraordinary truth in your spirit? The answer to that question determines the measure and the durability of what you receive. I am not asking you to pretend this revelation is not extraordinary. It is. I am asking you to let it increase your gratitude without decreasing your humility, to let it expand your faith without inflating your ego, to let it fire your expectation without cooling your service. Those who receive enormous blessings and remain genuinely humble about them, genuinely aware that every good thing comes from above, are the people through whom those blessings multiply and endure. Comment below. I receive this extraordinary revelation with humility and gratitude. The watching is about God's faithfulness, not my greatness. Let that humble declaration be the spiritual container that keeps the blessing in its right relationship to the God who provided it. And from the first pinned comment, the heavenly wealth transfer. A 7-day miracle to receive God's abundance is still there, waiting for you. It will help you process the revelation you have received today and position your heart with both faith and humility for everything that is coming. Go to the first pinned comment. Claim your gift. It is yours, set apart for you, prepared for this moment. Chapter 8. The next 7 days, preparing for the approach. My beloved child, the next 7 days are a critical window of preparation for the approach that is coming. I want to give you a simple framework for how to spend those 7 days. Not a rigid schedule, but a spiritual orientation that keeps you aligned, watchful, and ready. Day 1 and Day 2. Preparation of your spiritual foundation. Spend extended time in prayer, more than usual, with more intentionality than usual. Fast if you feel led. Ask me specifically to prepare your heart for the encounter that is coming. Ask me to reveal anything in your spirit that needs to be cleared, healed, or released. Let these 2 days be about getting spiritually clean and clear. Day 3 and Day 4. Preparation of your practical presentation. Develop and practice the articulation of your gifts, your vision, and your calling that I spoke about earlier. Write it out. Say it out loud. Refine it. Also review your practical life. Are there areas of disorder that need to be addressed before you enter a significant partnership? Finances, commitments, relationships, time management, anything that the enemy could use to complicate the partnership in its early stages. Day 5. Active watching and praying for the encounter. On this day, wake with the specific expectation that the approach may come today or very soon. Spend the day in a heightened state of spiritual alertness, awake to every significant conversation, every unexpected connection, every event that seems slightly more significant than ordinary. Pray before and after every interaction, asking me to show you what matters. Day 6. Preparation of your family and close circle. The partnership that is coming will affect your family and your inner circle. Pray for them. Prepare them spiritually, not necessarily by telling them every detail of this message, but by creating an atmosphere of prayer and faith around your household. Ask for their support for the coming season. Let them sense that something significant is on its way. Day 7. Rest and worship. Complete surrender of the timing and the outcome into my hands. This is not the day of striving, but the day of trusting. Rest fully. Worship genuinely. Speak the final declaration of complete trust. Father, I have prepared. The rest is yours. The encounter is yours. The timing is perfect. I rest in your plan. And then, actually rest. Comment below. I commit to these 7 days of preparation. On the other side of them, the encounter awaits. I am ready. Declare your commitment to the preparation process. Also, I want to remind you again of the membership invitation in the first pinned comment. The second link gives you access to an exclusive community, reserved messages, deeper guidance, closer spiritual connection. If you feel that this channel and this community are where you belong in this season, join us. The second link in the first pinned comment. We are waiting. Chapter 9. The language of the invitation and how to respond. My beloved child, when the billionaire who has been watching you finally makes their approach, when the watching ends and the conversation begins, I want you to be prepared for the specific language they will use and the specific response that will serve you best. The approach may begin quietly, a request for a conversation, an unexpected introduction through a mutual connection, a message that seems ordinary on the surface but carries an unusual weight underneath. Pay attention to these subtle openings. Do not dismiss them as ordinary when your spirit signals that they are not. When they describe their vision to you, and they will, Resist the temptation to immediately minimize yourself or overqualify your contributions. Listen first, fully and carefully. Let them complete the picture before you respond. Show them that you understand not just the surface of what they are describing, but the deeper significance. The why behind the what, the purpose behind the project. This depth of understanding will confirm for them that you are the right person, and that their decision to approach you was correct. When they ask the question, when they say, in whatever form the words take, "Will you be part of this with me?" Respond with clarity and confidence, not arrogance, not excessive humility. Clarity and confidence. Yes. I believe this is an appointment. I believe my gifts are meant for this work, and I am honored to stand with you in it. Those words, or words like them, communicate exactly what the moment requires: faith, confidence, and a recognition of the divine significance of the meeting. Then ask the questions that matter, about the vision's alignment with your values, about the specific role they are envisioning for you, about how decisions will be made. These are not suspicious questions. They are the questions of a wise partner who is taking the invitation seriously. They will honor the seriousness rather than resent it. Comment below. When the invitation comes, I will respond with clarity, confidence, and wisdom. I am ready for the conversation. Prepare your spirit for the encounter by declaring your readiness for it. Chapter 10. The final word. He is watching, and he is almost ready to ask. My beloved child, we have come to the end of this message, and I want to close it with the reality of this moment. The precise, specific, almost tangible nearness of what is about to happen. The billionaire who has been watching you is almost ready. The watching is nearly complete. The confirmation is nearly sufficient. The invitation is nearly spoken. The encounter is nearly here. You are closer to the most significant partnership of your life than you have ever been. And the only question is whether your heart is prepared to receive it when it comes. Whether the posture of your spirit, the clarity of your vision, and the quality of your faith are aligned with the extraordinary thing that is approaching. This message was the preparation. The prayers you prayed, the declarations you made, the preparations you committed to, they are the preparation. And the gift in the first pinned comment, the heavenly wealth transfer, a 7-day miracle to receive God's abundance, is the ongoing companion for your preparation through the coming 7 days. Do not leave this message without it. It is yours. It was set apart for you. It is not for sale. It is a divine gift, prepared for the one who receives this message with faith. That is you. Stand up now. Speak these final words with the full authority of a child of God who knows what heaven has been preparing. I receive it. I am ready. The billionaire who has been watching me is about to find me fully prepared for the invitation they are coming to bring. The partnership that God designed before time has begun is on the edge of manifestation. I stand at the door in faith, in clarity, in humble confidence, and I say, come. The invitation is welcome. The partnership is received. My life is transformed from this day forward by the hand of the God who arranged all of this, in the name of Jesus. Amen. Write that in the comments. Every word. Let it be the public declaration of a person who has understood the message, prepared their heart, and stands ready for the encounter. The billionaire is watching. They are almost ready to ask. And you, my beloved child, are exactly what they have been looking for. Be ready. Be watchful. Be aligned. The approach is coming. Chapter 11. What the billionaire has seen that you cannot yet see in yourself. My beloved child, I want to tell you something remarkable. The billionaire who is secretly watching you has perceived something in you that you yourself have not yet fully perceived. Not because they are spiritually superior or more insightful than you, but because it is often easier to see the gifts in another person than to see those same gifts in yourself, particularly when those gifts have been developed through seasons of difficulty that left you more aware of your struggles than of your strength. What have they seen? They have seen a quality of character that is rarer than any skill or credential. The quality of a person who has maintained their integrity, their faith, and their sense of purpose through sustained difficulty. They have seen the way you handle disappointment without collapsing. They have seen the way you give even when you have little. The generosity of spirit that is not dependent on the size of your bank account. They have seen the way you treat people, the dignity and the care that is consistent whether the person you are treating has power or has none. And they have seen something in your eyes when you speak about the things that matter most to you. A fire, a depth, a conviction that speaks of a person who has something real to offer the world. These are the qualities they have been searching for. Not primarily technical expertise, not a particular credential or a particular track record. The qualities I described: character, integrity, resilience, genuine care, conviction of purpose. These are what a person of significant vision most desperately needs in a partner and collaborator. They can find technical expertise almost anywhere. They cannot find what you have almost anywhere. You are uniquely positioned in their search. And the revelation of this message is meant to help you understand your own value clearly enough to show up, when the approach comes, with the confidence and the grace that the moment deserves. Write in the comments, "I see myself through new eyes," the eyes of the one who has been watching with discernment and recognizing something real. I carry what they are searching for. Let that recognition of your own value be the foundation of your confidence. Chapter 12. The reason God uses billionaires to deliver kingdom purposes. My beloved child, some of my children have complicated feelings about the connection between significant wealth and kingdom purposes. A sense that true spirituality ought not to involve people with great material resources, or that there is something spiritually suspect about God using billionaires as agents of kingdom blessing. I want to address this directly and clearly, because the clarity of your theological understanding of wealth will affect the quality of your reception of this particular blessing. I do not share the world's suspicion of wealth. I share the world's understanding that wealth is a tool, a morally neutral resource that amplifies whatever is already in the heart of the person who holds it. Wealth in the hands of a proud, selfish, unjust person amplifies pride, selfishness, and injustice. Wealth in the hands of a humble, generous, justice-seeking person amplifies humility, generosity, and justice. The person I am sending to connect with you has the latter kind of heart, which is why I chose them as the channel of this particular blessing. I use people of significant resources to deliver kingdom purposes, because the scale of certain kingdom purposes requires significant resources. A vision that is meant to transform a community, a nation, or a generation cannot usually be funded by the modest contributions of individuals with modest means. It requires the kind of concentrated resource deployment that only people of significant wealth can manage. When I have a kingdom purpose of that scale, one that requires significant investment to produce the significant impact I intend, I look for a person of significant resource and a person of significant calling, and I arrange for them to meet. The resource becomes the vehicle for the calling. The calling gives the resource its highest and most meaningful use. The billionaire watching you has been searching for a calling worthy of their resource. Your calling is exactly that. The meeting I am arranging is the alignment of calling and resource that produces kingdom impact at the scale that both of you, and neither of you alone, were designed to create. Comment below. God uses people of significant resources to fund kingdom purposes at the scale they require. I receive this connection as the divine arrangement it is. Declare your theological clarity about the connection between wealth and kingdom purpose. Chapter 13. The spirit of excellence that prepares you for the connection. My beloved child, there is a spirit of excellence that I want to activate in you before the connection with the billionaire fully manifests. An excellence of presentation, execution, and character that ensures that when you show up in this person's world, you show up as the fully realized version of the person they have been watching and sensing. Excellence in this context is not perfection. It is the committed pursuit of your best in every dimension of the contribution you make. It is showing up prepared, having thought deeply about the things that matter in the context of the connection, having developed your articulation of your gifts and vision to the point where you can speak about them clearly, compellingly, and without unnecessary hedging or self-diminishment. It is showing up with integrity intact, with your word and your character aligned in a way that is visible and that creates immediate trust. And it is showing up with a servant's heart, approaching the relationship not with the question, "What can I get?" but with the question, "What can I genuinely contribute to something that matters?" The spirit of excellence is not about external appearance, though taking care of your presentation as an act of respect for the other person is appropriate. It is primarily an inner posture, the posture of a person who takes seriously the significance of the opportunity they have been given, and who honors it with the full investment of their best. Mediocrity, showing up half-prepared, speaking carelessly about things that deserve careful articulation, treating the connection as an entitlement rather than an honor, is the surest way to undermine a divine appointment. Pray for the spirit of excellence. Ask me to activate it in every dimension of your preparation and your showing up. Say, Father, let a spirit of excellence rest on me as I prepare for and enter the connection you have arranged. Let my preparation be thorough, my presentation be clear, my execution be faithful, and my character be the truest reflection of who I am in Christ. Let the excellence I bring honor you, honor the person you are sending, and honor the purposes you are accomplishing through this connection. Pray that prayer and then live it, deliberately, consistently, every day, between now and the arrival of the appointment. Comment below. I am activating the spirit of excellence as I prepare for the divine appointment. My preparation honors God, honors the connection, and honors the purposes it serves. Declare your commitment to excellence. Chapter 14. The supernatural grace that fills the gap between your preparation and the opportunity's demands. My beloved child, the opportunity being created by the secret watching billionaire's approaching request is larger than you feel fully prepared for. That feeling is accurate. It is genuinely larger than what your current preparation alone can handle. And this reality, which the enemy wants you to use as a reason to disqualify yourself, is actually one of the most important signs that the opportunity is genuinely from me. I consistently assign to my children purposes and opportunities that exceed their current preparation, because my plan always includes my contribution. The gap between what they can do and what the opportunity requires is precisely the space where my grace operates. My grace fills the gap. My wisdom supplements the human wisdom. My strength comes alongside the human effort. My relational intelligence opens doors that human networking cannot open. The opportunity is designed for the combination of your best efforts, plus my active supernatural support. Not for your best efforts alone. This means that your job is not to somehow become large enough to fill the opportunity by yourself before you accept it. Your job is to bring your best, everything you genuinely have, and to trust me to fill the gap. That is what partnership with me looks like in a practical sense. You bring what you have, I provide what you cannot, and together we produce what neither could alone. When the request comes, when the billionaire who has been watching you finally makes the approach and asks you to step into the role they have been observing you for, do not wait until you feel fully ready. You will never feel fully ready for something that is genuinely beyond your current preparation. Say yes. Say yes with appropriate humility about what you do not yet know and what you are still learning. Say yes with confidence about the gifts you genuinely bring and the God who genuinely accompanies you. And step into the gap with the expectation that my grace is meeting you there. Comment below. I am not disqualified by the gap between my preparation and the opportunity's demands. God's grace fills every gap. I say yes with both humility and confidence. Declare your trust in the grace that fills the gap. Chapter 15. The impact the connection creates. Beyond your individual story. My beloved child, I want to speak to you about the impact that the connection with the billionaire creates. Not just for you, not just for your family, but for the broader world that is affected by what the two of you accomplish together. The impact begins with the specific people and problems that the work you do together is designed to serve. Every significant vision has a specific target. A community, a population, a problem in the world that the vision is designed to address. When your gifts meet the billionaire's resources in purposeful collaboration, the target is reached more effectively, more completely, and at greater scale than either party could have achieved alone. Real people experience real change as a result. Lives are genuinely improved. Problems that seemed intractable yield to the sustained, well-resourced, skillfully executed effort that the partnership makes possible. The impact also extends to the faith community. The people who will watch from a distance, as a person of faith and a person of significant resources come together around a shared kingdom purpose. The model you create, of genuine, values-aligned, mutually honoring partnership between a person of calling and a person of resource, is itself an impact. It shows what is possible. It challenges the assumption that calling and resource must always be at odds. It demonstrates that the people I raise up are capable of operating at the highest levels of cultural, economic, and social engagement without compromising the character and the faith that made them valuable in the first place. And the impact reaches the generations, because the work you do together will not end with your generation. The institutions built, the communities served, the lives changed, the culture influenced. All of these will outlast you and continue producing impact long after the two of you have moved on to other assignments. You are building for the long arc of history. The partnership I am creating is not for a moment or a season. It is for a legacy. Comment below. The impact of this connection reaches far beyond me, to real people, to the faith community, to generations. I receive the connection with the full weight of its intended impact. Claim the comprehensive, lasting impact of the divine partnership. Chapter 16. The final preparation, being ready when they ask. My beloved child, the moment is approaching. The billionaire who has been secretly watching you is almost ready to make the approach, almost ready to ask what they have been building toward, almost ready to speak the words that will open the most extraordinary chapter of your professional and purposeful life. I want to give you one final preparation, not of knowledge or skills, but of spirit. The final preparation is a posture of complete surrender to my guidance in the moment. Not the surrender of disengagement. You will need to be fully present, fully engaged, fully contributing in the moment of the approach. But the surrender of letting me be the senior partner in what unfolds, of listening for my prompting in the conversation, of following the sense I give you of what to say and what to wait, of trusting the instinct that my spirit produces in you about which direction to take the conversation, which offer to accept, which terms to negotiate, which direction to lean. The final preparation is a prayer. Father, when the approach comes, let me be led by your Spirit in every word I speak and every word I withhold. Let the wisdom I offer be yours flowing through me. Let the confidence I project be yours living in me. Let the discernment I exercise be yours operating through me. And let the outcome of the conversation be the one that serves your purposes most completely. Not necessarily the one that looks most immediately advantageous to me, but the one that is most aligned with the plan you have established before time. I surrender the conversation to you. I show up fully, but I let you lead. In Jesus' name. Pray that prayer now. Pray it again before you sleep tonight. And pray it one more time on the morning of the day the approach comes. You are ready. The billionaire is watching and almost ready to ask. Heaven has arranged the meeting. The gifts you carry are exactly what they need. The calling you have is perfectly complemented by the resources they bring. And the God who orchestrated all of it is actively, personally, lovingly superintending every detail of what is about to unfold. Be watchful, be ready, be open. And when they ask, receive it as the divine appointment it is. The question is coming. And the answer you give will open the most extraordinary chapter of your life. In Jesus' name, receive it all. Chapter 17. What the billionaire will ask, and what your answer reveals. My beloved child, I want to speak to you about the specific nature of the question the billionaire is preparing to ask you. Not because I want to create anxiety about the right answer, but because I want to prepare your heart for the depth and the significance of what the question actually is. They will not simply ask you to do a job. They will ask you to take a role in something larger than yourself. A vision, a mission, a purpose that they believe in deeply and that they have come to believe requires someone with the specific combination of gifts, character, and calling that they have observed in you. The question is an invitation to step into a partnership of purpose. And the answer you give reveals not just your practical willingness, but your spiritual readiness for the level of engagement that the invitation represents. Your answer, when you give it, will reveal your identity. Not your resume, not your qualifications, not your professional history, your identity. The settled, secure, clearly articulated sense of who you are, what you carry, what you believe, and what you are called to do. A person who gives a clear, confident, authentic identity answer to an invitation of this scale is a person who has done the inner work of knowing themselves, and that inner work is exactly what a person of vision and resource is looking for, because it is the rarest quality they encounter in the many people who approach them with impressive credentials, but uncertain souls. Prepare your identity answer. Practice it. Not as a performance, but as the natural, genuine, fully articulated expression of who you are. I am someone who carries a specific combination of name your actual gifts honestly. I am called to describe your actual calling with clarity. I believe in name the values that shape your approach. And I bring, describe the specific contribution you are ready to make in the context of the vision they are describing. Practice that answer until it is genuinely yours, spoken from your heart rather than read from preparation. Because the question is coming. Comment below. My answer to the billionaire's question is my identity statement. Clear, genuine, prepared, and ready to be spoken with quiet confidence. Declare your identity answer readiness. Chapter 18. The multiplication of your gifts in a resource-rich environment. My beloved child, I want to help you understand what happens to the gifts you carry when they are given room to operate in a resource-rich environment. Because the difference between your gifts operating in a limited context and your gifts operating in the context that the billionaire's partnership creates is not a linear increase. It is an exponential one. Your gifts, in their current environment, are producing what they can produce given the constraints of that environment. Those constraints are not failures of the gift. They are simply the natural result of a limited container. When the container expands, when the resource environment around the gift increases dramatically, the gift expands with it. The same ability that was producing modest results in a modest context produces extraordinary results in an extraordinary context. Not because the ability itself changed, but because the resources available to express it changed. Think of it this way. A powerful engine in a small boat produces modest speed. The same engine in a properly designed vessel produces extraordinary speed. The engine, your gift, has not changed. The vessel, the resource environment, has changed. And the change in the vessel is what changes the outcome from modest to extraordinary. The billionaire's resources are the vessel that will allow your engine to produce the results it was always capable of producing, but has never had the environment to express. Receive that understanding. It is important because it prevents both false humility, the belief that your gifts are insufficient for the scale of what the partnership envisions, and misplaced confidence, the belief that the resource alone would produce the same result without the gift. Neither is true. The result requires both, the gift and the resource, operating together in the environment of a shared vision and a shared commitment to the outcomes that vision is meant to produce. Comment below. My gifts in a resource-rich environment are not linearly more effective. They are exponentially more effective. I am the engine. The partnership is the vessel. Together we are designed for extraordinary speed. Declare the multiplication potential of your gifts in the right environment. Chapter 19. From secretly watched to publicly celebrated, the arc of your story. My beloved child, I want to close this message with a vision of the full arc of the story that is beginning right now. From the season of being secretly watched to the season of being publicly celebrated. Because holding the full arc helps you navigate the current season with the perspective and the patience it requires. Right now, you are in the season of being secretly watched. The observation is real, it is specific, and it is building toward the question that changes everything. But it is not yet public. It has not yet been announced. The person who is watching has not yet made the approach. You are in the quiet, expectant, preparing your heart phase of the story. The phase that will be talked about in the testimony later as the season before the question came. After the question, after the answer and the beginning of the partnership, you will move into the season of actively working. This is the phase of showing up, contributing, building, learning, serving the vision with everything you have. It is the phase of proving what the observation suggested, that the person who was being watched was indeed the right person for the role. It is also the phase of discovering, through the work itself, dimensions of your gifts and your calling that the pre-partnership environment did not have the capacity to reveal. The active season is the most demanding and in some ways the most satisfying. The season of genuine, purposeful, resourced engagement. After the active season, after the work has produced its results, after the impact has become visible, after the story of what the partnership produced is complete enough to be told, comes the season of being publicly celebrated. Not celebrated by the world in the way the world celebrates celebrity or success. Celebrated in the way that matters most. By the people whose lives were changed by what you did. By the community whose problems were addressed by what you built. By the kingdom whose purposes were advanced by what you and the billionaire accomplished together. And celebrated by me, the God who watched the watching and arranged the appointment, and called you for exactly this, and who takes the deepest joy in seeing his children walk fully into the destinies he wrote for them before time began. The arc is real. The season you are in right now is the beginning of it. Stay in it with faith, with readiness, and with the settled confidence of someone who knows the full arc of the story, even from its very early chapters. The watching will become a question. The question will become a partnership. The partnership will become a work. The work will become a legacy. And the legacy will become a celebration. Write in the comments. I know the full arc of my story. I am in the watching season. The question is coming. And the celebration is already written in the eternal record of what God planned for my life. Let that final declaration be the one that carries you through every remaining moment, between now and the day the billionaire asks the question that opens everything. Chapter 20. The value you carry that the world has underestimated. My beloved child, I want to close this message with a full, comprehensive statement about the value you carry. Value that the world has consistently and significantly underestimated, and that the divine appointment approaching is designed to finally recognize and express at its appropriate level. The world underestimates the value of proven character because character is not easily measured, not prominently displayed on a resume, and not immediately visible in a brief professional interaction. The people who make significant decisions about who to trust and who to invest in have been trained to look at credentials and track records and interview performance. Character, specifically the deep, tested, difficult season-proven kind of character you carry, rarely shows up in those measurements at its full value. And so you have been undervalued, in professional and sometimes in personal contexts. Not because the value isn't there, but because the measurement system being used cannot fully see it. The billionaire who is watching you has a different measurement system. Not because they are superhuman or spiritually gifted, but because they have been burned by people who measured well on the standard scales and delivered poorly in the actual demands of serious engagement. They have learned, through costly experience, to look for what the standard measurements miss, and what they have learned to look for is exactly what you carry. The proven character, the resilience under pressure, the integrity that holds when it would be easier not to, the depth that comes from going through the fire and coming out refined rather than burned. The world also underestimates the value of spiritual wisdom in practical endeavors. The world has largely accepted the secular premise that practical success is achieved through purely natural means, intelligence, strategy, effort, and luck, and that spiritual wisdom is a private matter with no real bearing on professional outcomes. But the people who have built the most significant, most durable, most genuinely impactful enterprises have often discovered that spiritual wisdom, the capacity to discern the right direction, to recognize the right timing, to navigate the moral complexities of significant influence with genuine integrity, is precisely what made the difference between the enterprises that lasted and the ones that didn't. The billionaire watching you has sensed that your spiritual wisdom is a practical asset. They are right. Comment below. The world has underestimated my proven character and spiritual wisdom. The billionaire who is watching sees what the standard measurements miss. I am more valuable than I have been treated as, and the divine appointment will express that value at its true level. Declare the true value you carry, without pride, but with the settled confidence of someone who has heard it from the God who made them. Chapter 21. The watching is almost over. What comes next? My beloved child, the watching is almost over. The season in which you were being observed, evaluated, and prepared for in the spirit of a person who is being specifically prepared for a specific appointment. That season has a specific endpoint. And the endpoint is the question that the billionaire is almost ready to ask. The question that will open the most extraordinary chapter of your professional and purposeful life. As the watching season draws to a close, I want to give you one final word about how to spend the remaining time in it. The time between reading this message and receiving the question. Spend it in full presence to your current life, not anxiously scanning every encounter for signs that this might be the moment, but fully present, fully engaged in the current work, the current relationships, the current responsibilities. Paradoxically, the best preparation for the divine appointment is the fullest possible engagement with the life you are living right now, because full presence and full engagement are what produce the quality of person that the appointment will reveal you to be. The watching is observing exactly this. The quality of your engagement with your ordinary life. Do not change it for the sake of being observed. Simply be fully, authentically, completely yourself in the life you are already living. And spend the remaining time in prayer. Specific prayer for the appointment, for the one who is preparing to ask the question, for the work that the partnership will produce, and for the lives that the work will eventually change. Prayer for these things before they arrive is not presumptuous. It is the cooperation of a person who has heard the announcement and is participating in the spiritual preparation of everything the announcement describes. Write your absolutely final declaration. The watching is almost over. The question is almost ready. And I am spending the remaining time in full presence to my current life and specific prayer for what is coming. I am ready. Not because I have arranged the appointment, but because the God who arranged it has prepared me for it. The question comes. The partnership begins. The work is built. The legacy is established. And the celebration that follows is the eternal record of a life fully lived in response to a divine appointment that was always waiting for this exact version of me. Every word in the comments. The billionaire is watching. Be found exactly who you are. Because who you are is exactly what they are looking for. Chapter 22. The gift that made you worth watching. Receiving your own design. My beloved child, I want to close this message with something I rarely have the opportunity to say directly to a person. You are worth watching. Not because of what you have accomplished, though what you have accomplished has value. Not because of your credentials or your talent or your professional history, though all of those things contribute to the picture. You are worth watching because of what I placed in you. And receiving that truth fully, receiving yourself as a person worth watching, worth pursuing, worth the deliberate observation of someone whose attention is not given lightly, is itself an act of reception that this message is specifically designed to facilitate. The design I placed in you before you were born is extraordinary. I do not say this to flatter you. I say it because it is true, and because the enemy has spent a great deal of effort convincing you otherwise. The specific combination of gifts, the specific quality of character, the specific depth of calling that I embedded in your design before your first breath is genuinely unusual. Not common, not easily found, not replicated by training or circumstance in a person who does not carry it from their original design. What you carry is mine to have placed and yours to have received, and you should receive it with the same open-handed, full-hearted gratitude with which you receive any other gift I give you. The billionaire is watching because they recognize something they rarely see. Not because they can explain it in spiritual terms. They may not have the vocabulary for that. But because the quality of a person who carries genuine gifts and genuine character has a recognizable effect in every interaction. A gravitational quality. An unusual trustworthiness, a depth that reads as something rare, even to people who cannot name exactly what they are reading. They are watching because they recognized your design. And their recognition is the external confirmation of what I have been telling you internally for longer than you have been comfortable fully believing. You are worth watching. You are worth pursuing. And the appointment that is coming is the appropriate expression of the worth that was placed in you before you were born. Comment below. I am worth watching because God placed an extraordinary design in me. Gifts, character, and calling that are genuinely rare and genuinely valuable. I receive this truth about myself without apology. Declare your reception of your own designed worth. Chapter 23. The God who arranged the watching and will arrange the finding. My beloved child, the God who arranged for the billionaire to observe you, who engineered the encounters and the contexts in which your gifts and character became visible to the specific person who needed to see them, is the same God who will arrange the finding, who will manage the approach, who will guide the conversation, who will ensure that the question is asked and that when you answer it, your answer communicates what it needs to communicate to the person who most needs to hear it. I arrange the watching. I will arrange the finding. I will arrange the appointment and the conversation and the partnership that follows. Not in a way that removes your agency. You will show up, you will speak, you will make choices about what to say and how to engage and whether to accept the invitation. Your participation is real and your choices matter, but you will not be navigating any of it alone. I will be with you in every moment, prompting, guiding, confirming, providing the internal sense of rightness that is the most reliable directional indicator available. And I will be with the other person as well, managing their heart, their openness, their capacity to hear what you say and respond to it in the way that best serves the divine purpose of the appointment. This is the partnership of a divine appointment. My orchestration and your participation, working together in real time to produce the outcome that was decreed before either of you was born. You bring yourself, fully, authentically, completely. I bring the arrangement, the guidance, the protection, and the grace that fills the gap between your preparation and the appointment's demands. Together, we produce what neither could produce alone. The beginning of a partnership that will build something that outlasts both of you and serves purposes that extend into eternity. Write the final word of this entire message. The God who arranged the watching will arrange the finding. I am fully available, fully prepared, and fully trusting in the orchestration of the one who arranged this appointment before time began. The billionaire is watching. I am ready to be found. And the partnership that heaven built is beginning right now. Every word in the comments. The watching ends with the question. The question opens the partnership. The partnership builds the legacy. And the legacy tells the story of a life that said yes to a divine appointment with everything it had. That is you. Say yes.